with another episode of the Lakers Fast Break podcast. It's Gerald Glassford coming right back at you here from Lakers Fast Break. Pop Culture Cosmos, Inside Sports, Fantasy Football, and Game Source. We truly appreciate everyone out there listening to all of our great shows. And if you can, please give us that magical 5-star review wherever you get your podcasts. Plus, if you can like, share, subscribe, follow, or do whatever it is that you can to support us right here at the Lakers Fast Break. Pop Culture Cosmos, Inside Sports Fantasy Football, of course, the great folks at, of course, Game Source, and also as well, the wonderful folks at LakersBall.com. Go ahead and check out Joe Soro being angry at the Lakers today, right there for you at LakersBall.com. Plus our good friends at the Hoop Heads Podcast Network, and of course, Lakerholics.com. And if you want your lawn transformed into something much more magical than it is today, please go ahead and check out Simblades if you're in the Southern California area. Simblades with a Y.com. Well, the Lakers coming off a spirited 2-game winning streak, including that miracle comeback in Portland. Also, as well, the Lakers coming off a trade on Monday, getting Rui Hachimura. We did a deep dive for over 2 hours on the Rui Hachimura trade, which is available right now on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts. I suggest you check it out, our thoughts on that. It is really was a great conversation with not only our fans, our followers, and everybody out there on Rui Hachimura, what if it's going to be a good fit or not. Hopefully he'll be in the lineup tomorrow because everything looks like all set. He was there on the sidelines tonight in street clothes, and maybe the Lakers outside of LeBron should have stayed in street clothes too, because Joe Soro, my good friend, was predicting a big victory tonight, but unfortunately it was for the Clippers, as the Clippers started out hot and held off a LeBron-led 1-on-5 comeback in the second half. 46 points for LeBron, a truly tremendous performance. 9 threes, really was hitting from all ends. But unfortunately, the rest of the Lakers decided, for the most part, to not show up. A terrible performance tonight from Russell Westbrook. Some mental lapses in the fourth quarter when the Lakers could have cut it underneath 10. And the Lakers, unfortunately, get waxed by the Los Angeles Clippers, making Steve Ballmer his usual happy, jovial self. Unfortunately, yeah, exactly, Joe. That makes me want to vomit when he does that. Unfortunately, the Lakers do lose 133 to 115. And here today to talk about the game and the fact that we need more players, obviously, to go ahead and help LeBron out, especially in games like these wasted, awesome performances. He's a good man indeed. You got to go ahead and check him out right there for you when he's here at Lakers Fast Break. First man up, first man here. He's the man from Toronto. He just can't get out of Toronto traffic unless he's, obviously there to go ahead and talk about the Rui Hachimura trade. But he doesn't really want to get out of Toronto traffic when the Lakers stink like this. It is Sean Grice, the Magic Man. Great to have you here, my friend. I know Blue Magic was asking for your advice on some cooking tips, as we noted on the playback.tv/Lakers Fast Break. You should enjoy our misery, that we had. It was some great conversations all over the place. We had some awesome movie conversations, much better than the game conversations at playback.tv/Lakers Fast Break. But my friend, it is the Lakers, a truly incredible performance from LeBron. He now has scored 40 against every single NBA team, a truly remarkable statistic. Unfortunately, it was all for naught.
It was all for naught, Gerald. And yeah, I had happened to see that same statistic a few days ago that he had scored 40 points against every team except one. I'm sure he saw it too, or he knows about it, given the historian he is. I think the best word used to describe tonight is uh detestable. It was a detestable performance by everybody except LeBron. Nobody else was focused tonight. Nobody else looked ready to go except for him. And the expression on his face when he was sitting at the bench with the game out of hand said it all. He was truly pissed off. Um, at times I'm sure he's just overall frustrated with what's going on. He can he can play the poker face, but when you try and
He
be
was mad today, Sean.
he was determined. He was determined to keep the Lakers in the game, and he was keeping our heads above water, Gerald, but we just drowned because nobody else threw out a life preserver for him. Thomas Bryant had an okay game. Russell Westbrook, yeah, great. I mean, you got your numbers.
Very inefficient, had several mistakes, terrible from the free throw line. Wendy Gabriel, terrible from the free throw line. Just simply
Compounding
yeah.
mistakes, and
Yeah.
when you don't have the talent that other teams do, and you're just taking points off the board, it's a nightmare.
Yeah, it is a
Oh,
nightmare indeed.
and I will answer Blue Magic, and let me
Yes.
tell you something. There is a secret to making great pork chops, and I will share that with him.
Okay, fabulous indeed. So you two connect on that as far as the great pork chop and beans combination there. But also here today to go ahead and talk about what the Lakers didn't do tonight. And they did do as far as playing terrible defense, even when they were letting the Clippers make all those threes. When they finally missed one, the Lakers weren't getting the rebound. Just terrible defensive performance all around. He's a good man indeed. You got to go ahead and check him out as Ox1947 at LakersBall.com. Plus also his awesome company if you're in the Southern California area. Symbolates with the Y.com. It is Joe Soro. And Joe, great to have you here. Thanks for being on the playback tonight. Some great conversations were had. I do want to stress that this, again, when you have LeBron performances like these, when he's got it going from everywhere, inside, outside, it is truly distressing to see the rest of the Lakers not giving him the help he needs.
The current team's construction has borderline starters on it other than LeBron. Even Russell Westbrook is a borderline starter, which he's not. I'm just saying his money says he's a starter. Actually, his money says he's a number one option on a title team, but he's not.
Great point, Zanger.
But my frustration at the beginning of the game was tailored more to the fact that the Clippers, who seem to always play well when they feel like playing well, and then they falter when it matters. That's the part that bothers me in these losses is you're playing a Clippers team, despite the talent, that are mentally weak when it matters. You have a coach who had he was stressed in Cleveland for a very short amount of time from the pressure. You're losing to these clowns who have time management the league into oblivion. Kawhi Leonard was to me is the poster boy of that, right? We blame LeBron for everything, but Kawhi Leonard is the guy that championed that with that slaphead in San Antonio, Greg Popovich. And to skew a little bit from what I'm saying and get to that point is there was a young man from Argentina that went to the Miami game today, and Miami was playing the Celtics, who was there to watch Jimmy Butler, and Jimmy Butler did not play tonight. And I'm glad TNT made light of that. And of course, everybody, all the kiss-ass guys there, even Shaq, are sitting there trying to make positive about it because he gave him a jersey. Dude, this guy came from Argentina to watch you play. Yeah, nice gesture of a jersey, but why aren't you out on the court? So if you guys think we're the only ones that are noticing this issue, now you know that they actually put something together on TV to show you how the fans, how those kids look at those guys. And how do you repay them? By giving them a jersey? Whatever. Anyways, the Lakers, you cannot expect bench players to play like starters game in and game out. It's just not being realistic. LeBron James is doing one of two things right now. He's chasing the all-time scoring record in the NBA, and he's chasing a spot that only, in my opinion, two other guys have. And he's always going to be motivated. And it's interesting to see Dwayne Wade at the game, enjoying the game, having a good time. and realizing that this is the guy that came in. Granted, I know he played in college a few years, but he's been out for a while. But Dwayne Wade came into the league the same time LeBron did. LeBron looks like he just came into the league 10 years ago. So just imagine that. And Dwayne Wade's going to be a Hall of Famer here in a few years. So it's pretty amazing. The more you see things like that, the more you appreciate what LeBron does on the court. And as far as LeBron's frustration, I can say that if I had a chance to sit down with LeBron, just he and I in some nice place where we can smoke a cigar and drink some wine, even though I don't really drink wine with cigars, but I know he's a wine guy. I would really want to know where he stands, and I know he wouldn't talk bad about AD, and I don't really think that's warranted. AD is a good guy. Unfortunately, he's brittle, and that's that. But the reality is, LeBron needs to be winning championships right now, or at least contending for them, and he's not getting that right now. And there's going to have to be some kind of change here at the end of the year to figure that out. And if you want to stay consistent throughout the year, instead of constantly going back at this yo-yo back and forth of whether they're going to be great one game and bad one game, there's going to have to be some stability here. And the stability is going to have to come from using the assets you have to get your freaking players that are going to be consistent throughout the year.
Once again, it's the Lakers fast break. The Lakers do, unfortunately, pull up a turd, which is probably the best way to say it, on the night where they had so much momentum going in, 133 to 115. They lose to the Clippers. They now fall to 13th place. They're back in 13th place in the Western Conference, 22 and 26. Sean, it looks like you're now asked to go ahead and share that recipe now with our entire audience. Maybe you have to go ahead and make a little video out of it, and I'll go ahead and put it on as a short, but it's up to you, my friend. When it comes to the Lakers, though, all kidding aside, there's no room for them to have these awful performances. Joe said it best when he said that he had not seen the Lakers play a really bad game like this in quite some time. I think the best thing I could probably say is that second half in Dallas where they got their butts kicked. I think that's probably the last time I saw them really waxed on the floor. You could also say the first half in Portland too, but we all know what happened there. We have not seen this bad of a four-quarter performance from the Lakers in quite some time, and it came at absolutely the wrong time. These are momentum killers. These are games which actually will put all your momentum and get it to a screeching, grinding halt.
Yeah, that's basically what's happened. See, it feels like we're driving the car, right? We're driving the car down the road. Now, because of our talent issue, sometimes the car goes onto the shoulder. Well, you have LeBron James. He can get the car back on the road. However, like you said, Gerald, when you get a flat tire, every time you think you're gassed up, that's a problem. It's a huge momentum killer. It drains. It's draining because it feels like you have to build all that momentum back up again. And Zenger made a great point, and I agree with her, and I had the same feeling as I did on the playback. That Russell Westbrook pass where he slinged it about 30 yards to half court was just inexcusable. LeBron was positioned to get the ball, but Russell wasn't looking at him and just decided to launch this thing. Then Dennis Schroeder decides that he's going to fumble the basketball, and rather than just fall on it, or like Mr. Soro astutely pointed out, call timeout. There's got to be some connectivity here with what to do in the certain situations, and it just seems that whether it's losses like this, injuries, they're not clicking together yet. There has to be the click. The click's got to be there.
That's right. The click has got to be there. He's got to have that support, especially when he's playing like this, Sean, when he's playing so well, when he's scoring 46 points, and had he stayed in the game or been more competitive, he could have easily gone over 50. That would have not
Yes.
been a problem. But
Yeah, he could have had a double nickel tonight.
yeah, absolutely. But unfortunately, that's not going to be the case as the Lakers lose 133 to 115. Joe, how fast does your enthusiasm slip? But for me, and for a lot of Lakers fans, we went from the high and the joviality of what we saw over the course of the weekend, and then leading into Monday's trade, so inspiring. People are really happy with what's going on. We've got Rui. Everybody's liking the trade, and they're picking on us because we're trying to be a little bit analytical as far as how we think Rui may or may not fit. We want to wait and see on Rui, but people are getting on us, but they're enthused by what's going on with the Lakers. They're enthused that Rob was making a move. Then all of a sudden they pull up a really crappy game like this.
Well, you can't let you can respect your audience. You can respect your eyes and ears to what you're doing, but you also have to also not care what some of the people who are unrealistic think. This is reality. Is reality. What's going on is what's going on. You can't just be all into your feelings and try to change that. It doesn't work that way. We are going to be excited over a team that wins, and we'll talk about the good things that happen during the game, and we'll hope that the next game is the same thing. But this is a combination of two things. One is the back and forth players, which is pretty much 90% of the team, just happened to pick this game in completely sucking. And Russell Westbrook picked this game to probably have his worst game of the year, which is tragic. And LeBron is doing everything he can to will the team to win, but he's got no one else that can help him. And you can't do that when you have a bunch of nobodies on the Clippers hitting shots out of their rear end nonstop for about 3 quarters. And then you have the, Paul George, Paul Escort George, he's playing like he's back in Indiana when he was battling LeBron in the Eastern Conference Finals. It's a recipe for a disaster. And it's been a recipe for disaster for the last 10 games against this no banner, no getting what you need when you need it team. I don't care how bitter I sound. I don't care how mean I sound. I don't care how much of a sore loser I sound like. The Clippers are a clown organization run by Uncle Fester looking mother you know what. And you will still
he looks
be
like
that.
the human version of
You
a
will
hot
still
dog.
be that. You will still be that.
Red.
And if your mantle is to put a winning streak in regular season games against the Lakers, then go ahead and do that. But in the end, Taylor Swift still has more banners than you in your own building. So, and by the way, Taylor Swift, I want to give the people of you're going to like this, G. I want to give the Taylor Swift fan base a thumbs up. They are bending Ticketmaster over right now. I mean, over, and they ain't going away for a while. So
that's what I said on the Cosmos.
Good. I gotta. Sometimes things work out, man. Sometimes things work out.
It took this. I mean, Ticketmaster's been a monopoly for decades, and then it finally took Taylor Swift fans to go ahead and
good for them.
Get the government to notice.
Good for them. I hope everything works out.
But go ahead, Sean. And by the way, Sean, as much as I like you interrupting at any point in time, either me or Joe, don't ever interrupt Joe when he's doing his rants because it's a lost cause. I even give up on that, just to let you know.
Yes. No, you're right. You're right about that.
It's like the train has already left the station.
I lost my head.
Choo-choo. Go ahead, my friend.
No, I was gonna. I guess there's something going on in the commentary about Norman Powell right now.
Well, what did you say that he looks like?
The 6th man of the year.
No, the Clippers owner.
Oh,
Uncle Fester.
Yeah. When he gets really red, he looks like the human version of a hot dog.
See, I thought that was good. See, You almost ruined that. You almost didn't get to say that line because Joe is trying to do his rant.
Yeah,
so
no, Joe was on fire there. I
I wanted to
apologize,
get,
sir.
and I wanted to get you your light in the sun there for you. So, my friend,
It's
so.
never a planned unleashing. It just starts to come out, and the words, and it would have been. It's better to go
No,
unfiltered.
you're a
because
volcano, Joe.
I really, and I want to say this because
Mount Saint Solo.
I
Yes.
tried
Mount Saint Soro.
I try to not curse uncontrollably, but there's cursing words that fit a certain delivery that do hit. Unfortunately, we can't really do
Jim.
that here. We can't really do that here because I don't want that to be a problem. There's some of the people are listening to this in the car and they have kids in the car. I don't want this to be a problem, even though we do throw a couple of SHITs in there and ASSs, but those are a little bit less tragic. But the thing is, there's really no answer at this point on how this is going to end up. What's going to end up, what it's likely going to be is we're going to know after February 9th if they're not going to bring in any legitimate stars or a legitimate difference maker. With all due respect to Rui, he's not a difference maker. He's depth. He's a guy that's got size who might shoot well or might not, might play good defense or might not, who might start, who might not. So to me, when you're one of those guys who you don't know what the hell he's going to be, then you didn't really get an impact player. You got a player that's better than Kendrick Nunn, and you gave up some draft picks that likely aren't that important. That's it at this moment. If he turns into Markieff Morris during the 2020 run, cool. But even that, I keep thinking every time somebody says Markieff Morris, that seems to be the word, the player I keep hearing about with a lot of these secret or small transactions. I'm like, I keep thinking Markieff Morris throwing the ball in the first row in game 5, even though he played well. It's like, that's Markieff Morris. He's got to have an open shot, and yeah, he'll make it sometimes. But really, what do we need more than that? We need a guy that can actually pass the ball, make layups while making $47 million a year. But we don't have that. Matter of fact, we have a guy that makes $47 million who plays like me right now. If I was to go to the gym at the LA Fitness right now, and I'd be throwing balls all over the place, not knowing what's going on because I'm not in shape for it. And that's a sad thing. That's a sad thing because he is taking up 2 max contracts essentially, and he's doing twice the negative work of 2 max contracts. And then you have a bunch of guys who are going to sit here and criticize. I'm not going to criticize Wenyan. I'm not going to criticize Christie. I'm not going to criticize. These guys are not top tier talent, guys. They're not. These guys are bench players. Okay, Thomas Bryant is a borderline starter who is good for 2 games and then okay for 2 games and then maybe have a bad game a couple times here and there. That's who he is. We have
This is LeBron. This is LeBron and the Bad News Bears.
There is
a bunch of misfits.
They're not good enough to play consistently game in and game out.
What did we say a while back? Island of Misfit Toys?
Yes, that's what the team is with constructed around LeBron. An island of misfit toys.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna get one of our big guns back on Friday. And
we play Saturday.
Was it Saturday? It's not Friday?
It's a Saturday primetime special.
Oh, cool. I thought it was Friday. Well, I'm off a day. We play Saturday. I'm looking forward to seeing AD get himself back into shape. And hopefully we can sneak out a win there to make up for this loss, because I think we'd probably end up – I'm going to take a guess here that LeBron's sitting tomorrow. But I'm not sure yet.
You called that last week.
Yeah. And if he does – that becomes a little bit more interesting in terms of what the results will be there. So we'll have to wait till tomorrow night and hope that they can pull it out without him.
It's so funny, though, that we want, or I'm hearing a lot about, we want Josh Richardson. We want Jacopoto. We want Doug McDermott. And we're like, okay, what's the record for San Antonio right now?
Yeah, no. No.
Go ahead, Sean.
No. No.
We are so desperate for talent. We turned this guy I didn't even hear about until 2 days ago into the second coming of Pau Gasol in the trade. I don't.
We just want to see if it works. Joe and I mean, don't bash us. We just want to see if it works. We're not saying it's a good or bad trade. We just don't know how he'll fit in the Lakers.
The only time Jakob Poeltl has had some relevance is when he was fed to the trade raptor in Game of Zones. Jay Rich, yeah, he could defend a little. He could run the point a little bit. He can't do that anymore. Not at the level that you need on the Lakers.
I want to mention though that LeBron probably is not going to play tomorrow, Joe and Sean. But as Got to Be the Shoes is updating us, I looked on Twitter right now. The latest from Mike Trudell on Twitter is that Darmingham on the possibility that Anthony Davis, who's been out since December, could return tomorrow to face San Antonio. Once we get our evaluations done in the morning, the possibilities are limitless. So I'll leave that to your imagination. So that
So
could be a
if
possibility.
AD plays, then that definitely means LeBron.
And Wojnarowski says, per Dave McMenamin, because they always love to give each other credit, even though we really know who gets the ins on that.
Yes.
He said that big man Anthony Davis will return to the lineup Wednesday versus the Spurs. So.
Oh, that's great news. That's great news. Yeah.
I think Juan Velasquez. He made it happen by saying AD needs to play. Good job, Juan.
Well, I just
spoke it into existence.
Can you do me a favor, Juan, and just actually now wish and then speak a 30-game winning streak into existence for the team?
I just that'd be great. I just wanted
That's a lot of pressure. Sorry, Juan.
Piggyback off something Joe was saying because I think it's important, and I think it bears conversation. Is that Joe had brought up the issue of the fan coming in from South America to watch his favorite player play, Jimmy Butler, and it turns out that Butler sat. And as Joe was saying, TNT gave the story, but then they turned to the panel, and I think what's happening, Gerald, and we're seeing a lot more of it, and especially I see it, I think other people do, is that, like, for example, what Joe was saying about Shaq defending the Jimmy Butler signing a jersey for him, that's contempt. That's contempt for fans. It is. It's a low grade contempt, but it's contempt. It's not as bad as some other people like Stephen A. Smith and Skip Bayless. These people have no respect for the fans. None whatsoever. Go ahead, Joe, please.
We don't demand it. We don't demand the respect either. And I believe that there needs to be a little bit of a change, and maybe this is the grassroots of this. God willing, our show becomes more public, more popular. This is not going to be a Skip Bayless type fake outrage. I don't think Stephen A. Smith is a fake outrage, but I think his delivery is kind of played out at this point. No one really takes him seriously anymore. I equate it, and I'm sorry if I have to bring this up.
I'm sorry, Jim. Jim just gave a zinger right there.
Anthony Ironman Davis. That's funny.
Yeah. Sorry, Joe. I'm sorry.
But it's we're at a situation with those who are popular in the industry in terms of commentary and analyzing, I should say, is even if you're let's say a popular news station that veers a certain way, even if you report something legitimately true, your credibility is so shot that it doesn't matter. They don't look at what you're saying. The source has already been determined that, it's coming from them. Yeah, it might be true, but it's coming from them. That's the subconscious of people. So what's important here to say is you got to start putting the pressure on the guys, just like this. I'm telling you, man, I read this. one of the best things I read today was this Taylor Swift thing with Ticketmaster, because I'm sitting there, I'm like, this is what America's about right there. Okay, you got these monopolists, right? Is that all right? Is that a word, monopolists?
No,
It is now.
You got these guys who've been running game, and you got a bunch of teeny boppers that come out of nowhere and form in this group and says, you ain't taking Taylor Swift from me. Remember, we got a banner on up in crypto. Clippers don't, right? She's got a banner in the rafters, and the Clippers don't have jack shit. Okay, so.
Well, here's the thing,
I
Joe.
think there needs to be pressure on these guys. Everyone is like a Mike Trudell, or they're these clowns who need to make some kind of attention towards themselves.
Joe, Mike Trudell handle on Twitter is Lakers Reporter. That's what his handle is, Lakers Reporter. He doesn't report jack, you know what, on the Lakers. He has to ask Woj's permission and bend over before he reports on Lakers news, and he's got Lakers Reporter in his name. That's the funny thing. But that's what I mean about the contempt part, Joe, is that some of these guys just don't respect, and I agree with you in spirit there that fans don't demand it, but there are some of us who watch that crap and I laugh my ass off at it, because I know for a fact that they don't respect the majority of fans' opinions, and the majority of NBA fans are smart basketball fans. They know what they're watching, and to me, the problem is that not only is it a bunch of contempt, but then when it turns around on us, we have a bunch of disdain for them, because they either live in their bubble, in that little bubble that the incestuous, tribes live in, or they either resent us for knowing that there's contempt there, or it's an outright rejection of us, and well, they don't matter anyway.
I just wanted to mention that John's McHaley saying that they have their proud Pacific Division banners up. I guess.
Oh God, yeah. You know what? As soon as the NBA did away with home court advantage, that went out the window too. That was another thing they got rid of, the importance of division banners. For some small market teams, that means something.
Well, I think we should have a show on how we can enhance the NBA's wussiness in terms of playing every game.
Yeah, the pussification.
The pussification. Okay, there you go. That's not a curse word. So the pussification of the NBA can be solved in a few ways. I had a suggestion about making the regular season more regional, so that you don't have as much travel. Therefore,
that's a great idea.
Therefore, making the divisions more relevant. And then instead of having these stupid play-ins and tournaments in the middle of the year and wasting our time, no one gives two craps about some tournament in December. Where the hell that come from? I can understand the logic in the play-in, because you want to kind of have this exciting part of the game before the playoffs. But the problem there is you eliminated the excitement of the trade deadline and free agency, which is what the only thing the NBA had ahead of the NFL was the free agency period. That's the only thing the NBA had over the NFL. The NFL's trade deadline is quieter than a dead horse. Okay. With the NBA, they own July, right? They own July. Major League Baseball doesn't own jack squat. I think the NFL outrates the World Series games when they have preseason games. So you had that, and you kind of eliminated that. And the trade deadline for the NBA was just as exciting. It just doesn't last as long. So I think we need to start. If that's something that we want to start talking about.
And there are certain ideas that they have that culturally work in other parts of the world that aren't just going to work here. Like in-season tournaments, that is a bad idea. That will not work in North America. It just won't.
It would if you had a regional type game. So remember the Big East? The Big
Yep.
East, when the Big East teams played, there was this pride. When Ohio State plays Michigan, there's this pride. When the Iron Bowl's playing with Alabama and Auburn, there's pride there. We don't have that here in the NBA anymore. There is no hey, let's have the Kings and the Lakers play 4 preseason games in 2002 and let them beat the living piss out of them so that we can watch Greg Fox try to go catch Doug Christie in the locker room and then have Shaq try to keep Vlade Divac out of the way. That's the stuff that doesn't exist anymore because everybody's friends now and everybody has to get along and all that crap. How about, and then of course, when we do have a rivalry, when you do have Klay Thompson talking smack to the guys in Memphis, all of a sudden they're like, well, why are you guys creating all this dissension, man? What the hell's going on? Dude, that's what we want to see. We want to see Klay Thompson talking smack. I don't want to hear about how Klay Thompson's this elitist guy. Oh, he's so pompous because he's won championship. I'm like, dude, this is what we need. We need I need Klay Thompson to banter with Bane and Morant. That's what makes this thing work. Come on, man.
I just love seeing Joe improvise there because I just saw a 6'3", 250 Spicoli. He did a bang on Spicoli impression. That was beautiful.
One of my favorite scenes is when Stu Nahum is interviewing him with the 2 chicks and he's dreaming. Unfortunately, I can't talk too much about that scene because there's softies out there, and of course, Gerald probably have a heart attack. But if you guys know that scene, you know what I'm talking about. I have played that line 100 times all the way through. And so I think that's great that you mentioned that, Sean. I think you and I are more in tune than you think.
Shout out to Stu Nahan. Rest in peace on that.
Oh, what a great! He had a hilarious. This was in Rocky, right? Yeah. Where I can't remember who the play-by-play was. He goes, I we have a big crowd here, and he goes, I've never seen this many Italians in one building in my life. And he goes, hey, you said that, not me. I thought that was hilarious. I was hoping I never found out if he was improvising, but I thought that was a hilarious return on that comment. But anyways, going back to the Lakers, unfortunately, we need to figure out here in the next 2 weeks what this team is really going to go after here in 2023.
So we're 10 games through what I called the Savage 10, and they're 2-2. They beat Memphis, they beat Portland, they've lost to the Kings, and they've lost to the Clippers. We have one win in the Pacific Division.
Okay, and that's pathetic. That's pretty pathetic.
It's pretty bad, but especially when I think aren't 4 of those 5 teams have 500 or below, Gerald?
Yep.
Yeah, that's brutal. That's bad.
Again, go back to the
it's not a murderer's row.
The
Clippers, Phoenix, Sacramento's leading the division. Sacramento. Go ahead, Joe.
The Lakers. Okay, so the results of constant moving by these players has resulted in lack of pride, lack of team pride. So AD's only been a Laker for 3 years? LeBron has been a Laker for 5 years. He might have a little bit there, but I don't know. It might have been better if they had squared off in the Western Conference Finals in 2020, but that didn't happen. But you can't expect any rivalries because they don't stay anywhere. There's no reason for anyone to be prideful of their team losing to the Clippers in this in-city rivalry. And these guys don't care. Wenyen doesn't have any history there. Max Christie doesn't have any history. They don't. You're not gonna. I can't expect those guys to come in tonight and go, "Oh, we're gonna beat the Clippers." I'm tired of losing them. Max Christie's never played. I don't think when was the last time he played the Clippers? He doesn't know. He doesn't have that feel. So there's a lot of this. It can sound like, hey, we're talking about the past, but I'm not. I'm not talking about the past. I'm talking about solutions to what people want to see. People like drama. People like banter. People like talking smack. Bring it back. Enhance it. Talk about it. Okay? And when a kid is coming from Argentina to watch his favorite player, and his favorite player decides that he doesn't want to play. This wasn't an injury. He just didn't want to play tonight. You know what? You need to make light of that more. And I'm glad that TNT brought that up. But I think they brought it up just for the feel-good story that he got a jersey. And this was Shaq's. Shaq's one of the few guys that can say what he wants, and everyone listens. Okay? A lot of people think he's kind of a big kid, but people listen. He could have done something good on that telecast with whoever half those people were. Jamal Crawford, and that panel was absolutely horrendous. I don't even know who the hell half those people were. Why didn't you say something to help the league? You don't have to dog on Jimmy Butler, but go, guys, this is what we're talking about here. These guys doing load management cost this kid, no matter how many jerseys you give him, he's not leaving that arena thinking about, wow, I saw Jimmy Butler dunk over somebody, or I saw Jimmy Butler do. And Shaq even said it. He goes, a big part of what him wanting to be an NBA player is, what if Dr. J didn't show up that day? He was watching with his dad, right? What would have happened? Would he have wanted to be an NBA player? When the Dream Team came out, Paul Gasol has said this on record. Paul Gasol said he wanted to be an NBA player when the Dream Team came into Barcelona. Because why? Well, he's from Spain. We don't realize. And why is Michael Jordan so popular? Why is Kobe Bryant so popular? Why? Because availability. Because people admire. Why did people admire Brett Favre? Why? Why did people admire Brett Favre for 20 years? Okay. He was a clown. He still is. But one of the things that people admired about him before he became an official clown is he was always at work. He was available all the time, and he fought through things, and people admire that. We need to get back to that.
Can someone confirm that, please? I think it was Adam.
The 26th. He passed away on the 26th.
Yeah, he did. He passed away on the 26th, not the 25th.
Yeah, he passed away on the 26th.
So if Anthony Davis did say that was interesting, but his anniversary is the 26th.
Yeah,
so
it is the 26th.
It's possible he's decided he wants to.
Well, the Lakers don't play, I believe, on Kobe's anniversary.
No, that'd be a Thursday. No, they play the 25th.
It would
and
be
the 28th.
Yeah. So. Yeah, they don't play on his death anniversary, so that's probably what he wanted to do to honor him. He's going to play 20 to 24 minutes is what is being scheduled out for him as far as for tomorrow's game against San Antonio.
24 minutes, so interesting.
That's what has already been tweeted out, that it's 20 to 24 minutes has been scheduled for him to go ahead as far as.
I would prefer 8 minutes each quarter.
That would make it 32, which would be closer to what we probably would need to win. But we'll see. Maybe the Lakers, much maligned and all over the place, schizophrenic supporting cast can actually pick up the slack. Because like you, I think LeBron is not going to play unless he really feels good tomorrow after him shooting so well today and having such a sensational game. But getting back to the game, and then we'll go ahead and touch on some Rui stuff before we head on out. But Sean, when it comes to LeBron, these games, at 38, you don't know how many more he's going to have where everything is clicking outside, inside. It just disturbs me. Well, not defense, because defense, there was some lapses that even he had. But offensively, it really is troubling to see him do so well, and yet the team provide him nothing as far as help.
Oh, I agree 100%, Gerald. We're getting down to the bottom of the bag where all the coins are and throwing them in the wishing well and wishing and hoping LeBron has a 45, 50-point game. They're getting fewer and fewer and fewer. And sooner or later, the bag's going to be empty and there won't be a well anymore. So they need to really seriously, like Joe was saying, seriously discuss what the plan is. Because if you don't really have one for the trade deadline, then you need to refocus on making him available for decisions that you're
Don, I
making.
mentioned that he did not have a good game on defense. On the offensive side, he had a truly
He
outstanding game.
was he didn't, but he was picking it up in the middle of the third quarter. He was active. He was getting his hands on a lot of deflections. Yes, it wasn't a great performance by anyone defensively tonight, but he was hustling on both ends. For God's sakes, he almost decapitated a young woman tonight,
Yeah, I mean, you
diving
want
for a
LeBron
loose
hustling and
ball.
diving. Yeah,
Yeah,
diving over
yeah,
the crowd.
they're down 16 points and he's diving for a loose ball. There's no excuse for anybody else on that bench to not give 100%, and nobody decided to give 100% except him. It's inexcusable.
It
And
is
I think that's what frustrates him the most, is that he was hauling his ass to try and keep us in the game, and nobody was there for a life preserver because he was tired.
Once again, it's the Lakers fast break. The Lakers do fall 133 to 115 to the Clippers tomorrow. Game starts at 7:30 on Lakers Network. We'll actually cover it again, playback.tv/Lakers fast break for you. And then after the game, of course, the best Lakers post game that's out there with the best Lakers chat room that's out there right here at the Lakers fast break. If you have any questions for us, LakersFastBreak@yahoo.com or wherever you get your social media, you can leave it right here on YouTube. Please like and subscribe, and also as well everywhere we're at on social media. But before we head on out, guys, AD's coming back tomorrow. Rui's coming back tomorrow. Walker and Reeves, although Walker is now, replaced Nunn on the attach him to a trade type deal now. So his name is now popped up on that. So we don't know how much longer we're going to have him, but he's expected to come back in the next few days. Joe, I want to ask you this. When it comes to all these additions we're getting back to the lineup, is this the kind of infusion of talent that we really need? You're on mute.
What talent infusion?
Well, AD to start off with, and then Rui Hachimura, hopefully, at some point in time, very soon, Reeves and Lonnie Walker the fourth. I mean, that's a little bit of talent, maybe. AD at least.
I'd like to see if it lasts more than 2 weeks, though.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
I like the unbreakable comment in note to M. Night Shyamalan. So,
when Jamie was talking about the other day when the whole AD saga, 2 weeks from today, 2 weeks from tomorrow, it reminded me of that scene from "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou," where have you seen that, Gerald?
Yes.
Okay, where he goes into the general store and he wants to buy hairnets, and the guy tells him, "Yeah, I can order you the hairnets, but it'll take a couple weeks." And he wants to order a car part, and he says, "Yeah, it'll take a couple weeks." That's what it seems like with this AD science. It's like it's a geographical oddity. It's like he's 2 weeks from everywhere from coming back.
That's true. Very great movie. And we had a lot of great movie discussions. We needed to do something to distract everyone that was watching the game on playback.tv/Lakers.
It's painful, ladies and gentlemen, but we
Nick
soldered through it.
Nick was awesome on our chat. Hopefully he'll be able to start coming on our live shows in the not too distant future. Looking forward to that. He was awesome on playback. Joe, Sean, Forever Laker 24. Got to give him a shout out. He was great in our chat on playback as well. But this crowd here tonight, really great as well. Cannot go ahead and say enough good things. Although I think we all need to check out eBay to see if there's a Jimmy Butler jersey sign that's going on sale tonight, because that's what I do. But before we head on out, Joe, any last thoughts? We need to pick up. It's got to start tomorrow. It's got to start tomorrow because, as we said, Boston, we're not expecting great things when we head into Boston on Saturday, but we should, no doubt, take this game tomorrow against San Antonio.
I would wait to see how that plays out. We should win, but I'm hoping that the Lakers can wake up tomorrow morning and understand that they can't be lackadaisical either, and try to get this win and get back to focusing on getting to 500 and getting ready for Saturday's big game against Boston. You beat Boston on Saturday. The sting of losing to these slappers would lessen a little bit.
Yep.
And hopefully AD doesn't get have a gnat fall on his arm and fall over. We can't have that happen. We can. We're gonna have to wait and see.
Yeah.
There is no comfortable piece of this team. It's just even when he plays well, should he play well tomorrow, we're never really going to have the ability. It's kind of like, it's like a cancer patient that goes into remission. It's always going to be there, even if it never comes back. It's always there. You're always thinking about, is it coming back? Is it coming back? And for me, I don't have any confidence in AD ever playing healthy for the rest of his career. I just wish we had enough talent to supplant it so that we could use him when it matters in the end, but we haven't even been able to do that.
Sean, any last thoughts on the way out, my friend? I mean, it's going to be a very interesting game to see tomorrow, to see how AD is integrated back into the lineup, to see how Rui is going to play in his first game with the Lakers. Very interested and intrigued to see for altogether different reasons. And then, as Forever Laker 24 said, he said this is one of the biggest roller coaster seasons in recent memory for him. And I have a tendency to agree that this team is a roller coaster. And right now it's been all up and downs.
Yeah, Gerald. That was a great comment by Lakers Forever 24. It was so true. People might turn to the 2012, 2013. It was more of a roller coaster, but that season was more ebb and flow. It was up and down, up and down. This one has just been crazy twists and turns along with the ups and downs. So it fits the roller coaster analogy to a T. This is the roller coaster season. They need to win tomorrow. I don't care how. I don't care by how many points. It doesn't matter. They need to win. That is as close to a must win as you can get.
And you know what depressing is about this is John says last season was a train wreck, and we all agree that
was
the
a train
case.
wreck. Yeah.
But at this point in the season, they had a better record than the Lakers do now.
Okay. All right. We can definitely, two things can be true at once. It's true that we have that that the team from last year had a better record than we do now. The sense of optimism is very different.
Oh, absolutely.
Vastly different.
Because of the parity in the league and the fact that 5 to 13th is 5th through 13th is actually about 3 games separating between all those teams.
Yes, 100%. So that's kind of what's been the equalizer here, is that the landscape around the NBA has basically defaulted downwards, and instead of having 8 to 10 pretty good to really good teams, you really only have half of that this year. And God, 75-80% of the good teams are in the East. Only Denver and Memphis have really separated themselves from the rest of the flotsam and jetsam that's in the West right now, and that includes us. Again, Gerald, because there's so many sardines packed in this can, somebody's going to have to bite the bullet and separate themselves some way, somehow. So somebody's going to eat a first-round pick or two to try and ascend themselves into a better position. It's going to happen.
Zangerstein, yes, you can compare last season to this season because it is statistics, and you have to go by what the statistics say. Yes, it is a difference as far as this season as far as the teams that are above the Lakers in the conference, which are very much closer than the way it was last season. So you can compare. I didn't say that again that it's a comparison that's unfavorable. It is a comparison nonetheless. But I will say, Z, as always, I respect your opinion, but it is something right now with the Lakers. If they just get on another run, can find themselves in the mix once again. But how many more times do we have failures like this, Joe, where they have these setbacks? Then they have to go on a 3 to 5 game winning streak just to get relevant once again. How many more times do the Lakers have to go through this before we actually get competitive in the Western Conference?
You can't build a consistency unless you have continuity. The continuity has never been there, at least hasn't been there for 3 seasons now, almost 3 seasons. There was continuity in 2020 because everybody played. Now, there was a break in March, but AD wasn't hurt. LeBron wasn't hurt. The Lakers from November to March had a progression. They were beating the teams they were supposed to beat at the first half, and they were losing those close games against the really good teams 90% of the time. But it started to change right around that All-Star break time, and they started beating Milwaukee and the Clippers, and they were progressing. And that is what normally would happen with a team that just freshly started playing with each other. You're talking about all new players that are playing together. But there was continuity, there was consistency. And you're not getting that the last 3 seasons. It's too many injuries and too many bad decisions by the front office that have created this just fractured culture. It's a fractured culture of basketball. And then you factor in the mental capacity of the stars these days and how they want to take days off whenever they want to. There's really LeBron's really the last of the guys that probably really does the work before he gets on the court. Who's really out there? I'm sure there are a few others, but I'm talking about in the realm of that kind of player, like an all-time great, a top 20, top 10 player. Like even Luka. Luka is playing off his talent right now. Luka's not going to be able to do this in the next 5 years. Heck, he even said it. They asked him, are you going to, what do you think about your game and LeBron's? He's like, I'm not going to be here 20 years. I'm not going to be here 20 years. He likes to eat too much. He likes to have fun too much. LeBron likes to have fun, but LeBron takes care of his business. LeBron was eating fish when everyone else was eating steak from the beginning. And for those of you who don't know what the difference between steak and fish are, well, your bones and your skin and all that stuff's going to do a little bit different things when you're eating the red meat versus eating the fish. And you don't need to be a nutritionist to know that. So the Lakers are not going to amount to squat in terms of what they're supposed to do until Anthony Davis figures out if he's going to ever be healthy again at this point. And then Rob and Jeannie need to figure out, if AD can't stay healthy, you need to do something this summer to find someone who will be available so that LeBron, your guy, can have a chance at doing what he wants to do, which is win titles. That's what he's here for, to win titles or to compete for titles, not to compete for play-ins. Come on, get with it.
Get with it indeed. But once again, the Lakers didn't get with it, spoiling a great offensive performance from LeBron James with 46 points as the Lakers lose 133-115. Also upsetting Joe's predictions for a great victory for the Lakers. Hopefully they can come back tomorrow with a big victory, which will help, ease some of the pain from what they're going through right now. And the fact that the Lakers actually have to do that now that they're 13th in the Western Conference with a 22-26 record. Sean, it doesn't get any simpler than they must win tomorrow, and the winning must be consistently starting now that AD is back to at least give you something before, like everybody's saying, before he may go out again.
100%, Gerald. And I don't have it in front of me, Gerald, but if you could double check who the Boston Celtics are playing either Thursday or Friday, I'd really appreciate it.
We'll do while you do that.
Tomorrow is a must win. And I know that's a sad thing to say, especially when you're facing the slumping, sucky San Antonio Spurs. The only thing good in San Antonio is the guacamole.
They
You need to
played.
win.
They're at home against the Knicks on Thursday. Just to let you know.
Okay, so that's probably a TNT game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
And then
all right.
Saturday is the primetime game at
Yeah,
5:30.
exactly. So, it, you need to find a way to win tomorrow. And I think if LeBron's rested 1, 2, 3 days and AD's on a minutes restriction, I think you got a puncher's chance with them. We only lost by 4 points to the Boston Celtics at home, and it took them to beat us in overtime. So I think I think one aspect of rivalries that people often lose sight of because it's sort of what you want to see makes you blind. That Chris Cornell beautiful lyric is that you throw out the records with rivalries. Just throw them the hell out the window. It doesn't matter how good or how bad you are. Certain teams just get up for one another. And for some reason, when it comes to the rivalry between us and the Clippers, they get up for it more than we do. It's just that simple. It's just that simple. Talent aside, they get up for the game. We don't. They always look at it as their game 7 in the NBA Finals, and
What
it'll probably be that till the day that sad franchise comes to an end.
I want to actually, if I may, end this conversation and end tonight's show on a nice note, and that is the Lakers in AD's absence, Joe and Magic, were 10-10, which
Not bad. Not bad.
That's not bad. I
It's
mean,
not
all
bad.
things considering, we need to go ahead and put things in perspective. When it was LeBron against the world for 20 games, 10-10 with this kind of roster, that's not bad.
Yeah.
It's
Which makes
not
that start of 2-10 that much worse.
Yes.
yeah, it's not medium rare steak, but it's not spam either. It's a nice shepherd's pie.
Mike Tomlin's never had a losing
It's not
record.
pork chop and beans.
No, it's not pork chop
3
and
playoff
beans.
wins in 12 years. So, yeah.
Pork chop and beans are fantastic. They're not just okay.
I remember us, at that time when AD went down, we're thinking this season's done and in the toilet. And I think that the Lakers to be still in a position where they can reach the playoffs if they go on a little bit of a run here.
Yeah, Gerald,
that's to be commended.
If you won 10 of 15, if you ran off that kind of streak, I think you'd be the 6th seed right now. At the very least, you might possibly be the 5th. So yeah, all it takes is just stringing together a 700 winning streak in 20 games or 650 in 30. We got 34 games left. I think they need to go at least 20 and 14. So that would put you at around 40 wins, 42 wins. I think that might get you into the 6th seed at
because
very
we sure
least.
as hell weren't thinking that the 42 wins this season would
get you in the Western Conference playoffs. Hell no.
Yeah.
It was like a minimum 50.
Yep.
Yeah.
Joe, I mean, I know you're being a little bit facetious and tongue in cheek when you talk about this, but come on, 10-10 while AD's been away, and 10-12 with Austin Reeves and Lonnie Walker out of the lineup as well. I like the 10-10 better without AD, but that's still not all that bad.
The 10-10 would have been fine had we not started 2-10.
Yeah,
we needed to go. We needed to go 8-7. No, that's bad math.
Something like 5-7.
We needed to go
13-7.
We needed to go 13-7. I'm sorry. I don't know why I read that as 10 games. Anyways,
that was Scott Steiner math there for you.
I don't. Scott Steiner had like 2 minutes explaining his math.
Oh my god!
My
Don't take steroids,
my
kids.
observation, yeah, it's no, but he did have one of the best physiques in the game. But
This
he,
is-
but the I'm more looking at the end result because that's what this franchise is about. We're here to compete for championships, and if it doesn't work, regardless of what happened, it's a failed season, especially when you have a prime AD and LeBron James still playing well. It's a wasted year again, and there has to be something that changes at the end of the year if this doesn't work out.
The correction on what Z was saying was 10 to 12 games without Lonnie and Austin. So I want to go ahead and correct on that, what she was saying.
Thanks.
But still, 10 to 10, as far as that's concerned, the Lakers and have been all over the place. But that 2-10 start, we saw it last year with New Orleans, where they had that horrendous start and they came back to be a playoff team with some fight against Phoenix in that first round, Sean. I think we could take solace in that if the Lakers can follow that same path, the Lakers by the end of this year, if they stay healthy, and that's a very big if, can provide some noise in the Western Conference with or without a trade.
Yes, Gerald, absolutely. I think moving forward, they got to stop with the teases. Like, get to 500. Once they get to 500, whatever that may be, I think that's when people will start to say, okay, maybe now they're starting to put it together, or at least glue what they have back together. Because, again, I realize that there are more buyers than sellers at this point, but somebody always comes out of the bunch and says, yep, we think we got the right mix and we're willing to sacrifice part of our future or a portion of our future to get better. There's always that one GM, and all it takes is one knucklehead to overpay for everything. And we saw what the Timberwolves did in the offseason. They were the knuckleheads of the offseason. There's going to be a knucklehead at the trade deadline. And the Lakers need to do something, because it's not like reinforcements aren't going to help. It's not bring in the cavalry, Jim. We got this. No, you need serious artillery on the front lines if you want to compete. And like you said, Gerald, it's not really out there. At least what we could see.
Yep, what we can see right now, but we'll see in less than 3 weeks. Last question for Joe from Gotta Be the Shoes. Joe, you think Rob Snake in the Grass Palinka picking up anybody significant?
No, I don't think that's going to happen. Because the league knows that they need help, and they're going to try to take those assets that actually have value, which is the 27 and 29 pick. Any other assets they have don't really do much. Yeah, expiring contracts. But back to what I was saying, most of the teams that would make a trade, other than Detroit, which has a 34-year-old Bogdanovich, I'll give a late second round for Bogdanovich at 34, even though he's probably what we need in terms of perimeter shooting. But that's it. Anyone else is competing for something. So what is going to be – who's going to – I have never seen a team tank when they're close to a playoff spot. At least I don't remember anything like that happening. So what makes you think Indiana's going to trade Miles Turner and Hield and all these guys when they're just a few games away from making the playoffs? What? None of this makes sense. Make it make sense to me, then tell me, then ask me, then comment to us. As of right now, we are not likely going to see anything major happen unless there's a team that finally says, you know what, I got to unload this crazy contract, Charlotte, and I'm going to take whatever I can get. But who do they have that's really impactful? You have an injured guy, a small guard that's good. Well, okay, who's impactful out there that they're going to trade? Who? Bradley Beal out of Washington? No one's going to take that contract. Damian Lillard? Sure, we would love Damian Lillard, but Portland would have 2 people at their games if Dame is not there. So what is it? What's going to happen? And you also have to factor in that you have a general manager who is loathed by the league, loathed by the fan base, and is desperate. You never lose a trade to a desperate opponent. And that's not going to happen here. It's just not. I expect nothing to happen. Maybe another small, minute trade, but nothing major. I'm hoping I'm wrong, but I'm usually not.
Once again, it's the Lakers falling short of Joe's projected.
Did I predict that they'd win today?
No, you didn't.
I just said that they need to blow this team out. I didn't.
All right.
I didn't predict. So you ever put lies out there again, G? I'm gonna find.
No, here we go again.
You already know where I live. I gave you my dang Christmas card.
Oh, Joe's got the crazy eyes.
There you go.
Put words in my mouth. But go back to the tape.
His how shall I say? His hopefully anticipated.
Joe's about to go.
You don't
Jim,
like the word hopeful.
Joe's about to go Chris Everett on Jim Rome.
Oh my gosh.
That's one of the funniest segments ever. I don't think you'll call me Chris again. Oh yeah, Chris.
And there he goes. Yep. I remember
that was great. I didn't know who the hell Jim Rome was until then.
So once again, it's the Lakers fast break. The Lakers do win or not? No, sorry. They unfortunately fall short in Joe's hopeful blowout, but it's the other way around as the Lakers do lose 133 to 115. We'll be back tomorrow for the Lakers. Any projections now? Do you want to go ahead and bank a win now, Joe?
Yes, they're going to win.
Yes, okay, I predict that Rob Pelinka will suck tomorrow, just like he sucks today.
Okay. Great prediction indeed. But once again, it's the Lakers Fast Break. We truly appreciate you watching and listening. We'll be back tomorrow for playback.tv/Lakers Fast Break. He still has it. He still has it.
Someone needs to find out what car he drives. And you wait for him to park it, and wherever he goes in, you put a bumper sticker on the back says, "I finally traded for a wing."
Okay. But now you need to do more. It's like, what have you done for me lately? If that's all you get, as I said on the 2-hour plus Rui Hachimura deep dive, if that's all you do and that before the trade deadline, then it's not a big win for the Lakers. It's not a big win because Rui Hachimura does not a good trade season make. Let's just put it that way. But once again, it's the Lakers Fast Break. If you have any questions for us or comments, please go ahead and hit us up, LakersFastBreak@yahoo.com, or wherever you get your social media. It's at Lakers Fast Break. We thank you for watching and listening, and we'll see you tomorrow for playback.tv/Lakers Fast Break. Be a part of that. And, of course, the best post game in town, in any town, on the Los Angeles Lakers in the NBA, and the best chat room, as always. Zangerstein, Jim, John, Gotta Be the Shoes, Alan, so many great names, so many great faces. Appreciate it. Tycoon Rave, Juan.
I just like to say, Gerald, we have the best chat crew in North America. 100%. I would go to battle royale with all these guys against every other fan base online.
Oh, no doubt.
Their knowledge, their passion, and they've been with us through this roller coaster. Just thank you. Thank you, guys. No, thank you, Z.
Thank you, everyone, for being a part of what we do, and we'll see you tomorrow right here. Yes, Joe's trying to.
He's
got the feels.
The one tier he has.
The one tier indeed. But appreciate everybody for watching, listening, and we'll see you tomorrow right here at the Lakers Fast Break Podcast.